Hi, I'm Neil Kelleher. In videos up to now, we've been focused on the spine, stretching the hip flexors using the couch stretch and variations of the couch stretch, and also been talking about how to activate the transverse abdominis and the benefits of activating the transverse abdominis. Next set of videos I'll be focusing on hamstring stretches. I'm not sure yet how many videos I'll do, but this could be considered the introductory video to hamstring stretching. And if you haven't watched the previous videos, particularly on transverse abdominis activation, but also especially those on couch stretch, I'd recommend watching those videos, because then you'll ideally see how we're using the same basic ideas from taking them from couch stretch and applying them to hamstring stretching, and ideally improving hamstring flexibility. So for this stretch, for this hamstring stretch, it's a simple standing forward bend. And in the couch stretch, I talked about, so in couch stretch, you're resting a shin against the wall and pressing one of the activations was pressing the foot against the wall to actually activate the muscle that you're trying to stretch. So by pressing, for example, by pressing the foot against my hand, I'm actually activating the front of the thigh, the rectus femoris, which is the muscle I'm actually trying to stretch. And there are a couple of ways that you could use that activation. You could use that activation to resist the stretch and then relax and then see if you can go deeper. Another way that you can use that activation is to resist the stretch, but allow yourself to go deeper into the stretch while you continue to resist it. With hamstring stretching, it's a little bit difficult to feel and activate the hamstrings. And I've got a whole series a whole course which teaches people which teaches you how to activate your hamstrings and your glutes so you can feel them activate and use them to resist hamstring stretches. But that's actually a course. And I'd say one of the difficulties with stretching the hamstrings, or actually activating the hamstrings to resist a stretch, is it's a bit difficult for a lot of people to reach their feet, grab onto their feet so that they can actually use, say, their arms to resist the pull of the hamstrings, to give the hamstrings something to work against. So for instance, using couch stretch, using a wall, and I'm using my hand because I don't want to switch the camera angle, but here I can use my hand to resist the pull of my leg, and I can activate my hip flexors, the rectus femoris in particular, but other muscles as well, against the strength of my arm. Pushing a foot against the wall, I can do the same thing, and this actually is a variation of the couch stretch. You could do it with the knee straight. Here, if you resist with your body, you can push your foot against the wall so that the hip flexor activates, and then if you like, you could relax and either go towards the wall or perhaps sinking to the floor. Now with hamstring stretching, it's a bit more difficult, particularly if you cannot reach your feet. So what can you do? One simple idea is to use a strap. I haven't got any straps handy, my belt's a little bit too short, so I'm going to use this floppy yoga mat. So if all you have is a yoga mat, you could use a yoga mat as well. But the idea is to stand on your yoga mat. You can grip it, so it's a good way to work on grip strength as well. And you'll notice in some of my videos when I'm standing up, you'll hear my hips creaking. It's something that I'm constantly working with, and it's a lot more prevalent when I haven't warmed up. If you suffer from that problem, what I'd recommend is adjust the turnout of your feet. So either feet parallel or slightly turned out, or turned out a lot. See if that helps you to avoid hip cracking, particularly hip crackling when you're standing up from a forward bend. There's a bit more to it than that, but that might be one of the simplest things that you can do. And likewise, applying that same idea to forward bends in general, whether or not you have hip crackling, I'd suggest it's a good idea to pay attention to your foot alignment, not just doing your feet parallel, but not being afraid to vary your foot alignment. So say feet parallel or slightly turned out or turned out a little bit more so that your hips feel comfortable both while standing up and bending forward, but also while actually doing the stretch. And the key idea while actually doing a stretch, so adjust your foot rotation first, and don't be afraid to readjust if you find that you need to. But grabbing onto your strap or your yoga mat, whatever it is you're using, what you can do, first thing I'd suggest, make your spine feel long. So use your spinal erectors. Slowly and gradually pull on the mat. And what you may find is that there's a natural tendency for your feet to press down, and that's good. So you can press down through your heels if you like, or you could press down through your forefeet, but keep your heels on the ground. So let's do that. So press down strongly through your forefeet, but keep your heels on the ground. So if you press down through your forefeet, you may find that your calves activate. Make your spine long, and then from there, resist, pull up on the mat, and as you do that, feel your hamstrings activate, also feel your butt activate. And then relax, and if you like, see if you can sink down. And when you sink down, that might be a point, because you're relaxed, that might be a point where you choose to change the rotation of your feet. So, press down through the forefeet, but keep the heels on the floor. You could lift your heels if you wanted to. Lengthen your spine, make it feel long. If you wanted to, engage your transverse abdominis to create a pull on your A6. From there, gradually pull up with your arms, feel your hamstrings engage. And from there, that's something else you might want to do while you're generating a pull with your arms. Because you're on your forefeet, it might be easier to vary the tilt of your feet so that you get a strong feeling in all of the hamstrings. So inside and outside both feel strong. See if you get butt activation as well. The exercise then can be, and if you wanted to press through your heels, you could try pressing through your heels as well. Perhaps bend the forefeet upwards. But lengthen your spine, press down through your feet, either your heels or your forefeet. Use your arms, pull up on the mat, relax, and then see if you can sink down. Press down through your feet, heels or forefeet, or both. Lengthen your spine. If you like, transverse abdominis engage. Create an upward pull with your arms. Feel your hamstrings and glutes engage. And then relax. And as you relax, see if you can relax your hamstrings and glutes so that you can sink deeper. Press down through your heels. So you may feel hip activation, some sort of leg activation as you press down through your feet or your heels, through your forefeet or your heels. Spine long, transverse abdominis engage. Pull up with the arms, feel your hams and glutes activate, and then relax. And then from there, so adjust the turnout of your feet if you need to come up, and ideally you'll come up without any hip crackling. And one nice thing with that is that you can do it one leg at a time if you like. So say standing on one leg, you can use it one leg at a time. You can use the same basic idea while sitting on the floor. So if you're sitting down, use a strap to grab the leg. Same idea. The one thing while sitting, try pushing your foot against the strap so that you get some sensation in your legs. So rather than just having the legs floppy, resist, actually push your leg against the strap or whatever prop you're using. At the same time, pull back with your arms. So push your leg forward, push your foot forward, pull back with your arms so you get leg activation. Then relax if you like, go higher. Or push your foot against the strap, pull back with your arms, resist, and as you resist, see if you can pull higher. Play with both of those options, but make a clear distinction. Make a decision. Either resist the stretch, relax, go deeper, or resist the stretch and go deeper at the same time. So those are a couple of options for hamstring stretching. Give them a try, let me know how it goes. And should point out, if you find your lower back hurts when doing this, leave it out. Ideally, because you're making your spine long, because you're activating your transverse abdominis, Shouldn't cause any back problems, but if it hurts, leave it out. Or if you want to experiment, try experimenting. Bend your spine a little bit backwards as you lengthen your spine, or try bending it forwards. See if either of those options help. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Love it if you shared this video, gave it a like, gave it to your friends. But if not, most importantly, I hope this was helpful. Thank you very much for watching. Namaste.